Alright, we are here at Westview Elementary School in the shadow of Longs Peak Mountain, here to bring you the Wildcat Ridge Disc Golf Course. Being in the shadow of Longs Peak, we are in the territory of the Longs Peak Disc Golf Club. Awesome club. This is the final 9 of the Longmont 27. I'll show you the first parts, and I fortunately ran out of daylight to finish this course, and then it snowed the next day, and I had a tournament in the snow over the weekend, the Boulder County Championship. So yeah, let's show you the final 9 here of the 27 holes here in Longmont, and we'll see how we do, huh? Let's get to throwing. All right, hole 1 here, we threw off the sidewalk. It's kind of up in this corner, these trees, right by the fence. Over the fence is OB. And, pretty basic hyzer, but, there's enough obstacles. You got to be kind of squeeze it in there in the trees. At this point in time, not really warmed up. We're going with the little bag again. Trying some new discs out, so not my full normal disc supply, but pretty good. Something overstable that'll get there, definitely get left. Just kind of get it out over the soccer goal, let it come back left, and get in there to the hole. There we go. Ice Orbit Bear should get me in there. Yep. Oh, straight out of the car, we parked it. All right. I was honestly thinking mid, but since I hadn't warmed up yet, I've kind of been noticing like disking up sometimes a little easier until I'm feeling my throw. I also disced up a lot when I played this tournament in the snow because I was kind of trying to throw really smooth and really watch my footing so I didn't slip, and trying to throw that really like 80% kind of smooth. I actually think I threw a driver on this because it was so cold, things were flipping over. So I just went kind of very stable driver, a Crute, and also kind of parked it. So I did pretty good on this hole. I was a little disappointed how I played in this in the tournament. I threw the disc really well, but wow, my putting was atrocious. I 3-putted twice on this course, which took away 2 strokes. And that's 3-putting is a 2-stroke turnaround. Doing it twice, that's potential 4 strokes. Yeah, we got up in here. My drive was a little further away. I think I was actually about here somewhere in the tournament. Had a little bit more of a straight view because I went wide with a driver. Yeah, my putting, oh boy. I thought I had figured it out the night before, and it felt good in warm-ups, and of course, as soon as I got in the tournament, I just couldn't putt to save my life. Well, that's how it goes. Being able to adjust is definitely a skill. All right, hole 2 here. It's kind of straight ahead. Obviously, we've got hard forehand because you kind of blocked with the trees and OB over the fence. But it's also kind of hard to hyzer because you've got this little guardian barricade that's like right in the exact line that you want to hit to get into the pin. And then most of the time, the baseball diamond will play as OB or hazard. I believe this is 270-ish. And of course we got dirt tee pad here. And this hole, it says 227, but I'm almost positive that is not correct. I'll throw putter for giggles, but my tournament play was actually to throw my felon toward the baseball diamond and let it swing in after, make sure I got past that protector fence. And it worked pretty good. I hit the little gap there, and I was about 20 deep, and I probably had a 25-30 footer. I'm actually going to try that again. I'm going to try that with this Color Glow FD3. This thing is, I've heard it's very beefy, so I'm going to try to kind of flex it at the baseball diamond and see if I can't flex it around that fence. Oh, I'm going to hit the guardian fence. That thing is very beefy compared to my felon. So you can kind of see how how that thing is exactly where you want. And like I said, that feels way farther than 227. Like I'll throw an Envy up high and see if it actually gets there. Just for giggles here. Well, maybe. I parked it. Maybe that was the play. So you can see how like this barrier is kind of just right in the right way. If I would have, and how close this baseball field actually is here. If I would have, I think this plan would have worked. This thing is quite a bit beefier than my felon. My felon has a little bit more push forward. Would have worked fine. But you're kind of stuck behind this, so I don't even have a putt. I basically have to scuba over here. Oh, dang. And to give myself a putt. So if you hit it, it's kind of like instant like fail. Man, I'm really I need to just trust my instinct with the putter. I'm so good with the Envy. There's the Envy. Basically parked it. So yeah, sometimes you just make holes harder than they need to be. And that might have been a case here. Because I think, man, when you try to go something else more overstable, it's pretty easy to like get the height wrong and fly over the fence, whereas the putter just, even like Envy's overstable enough, it's not going to turn over into the ball field, but it's also going to push a little straighter and not go way left. Okay. So, alright, hole 3, we got it, it's down there between the trees. Kind of got a slight tunnel here. Obviously we got the fence here, OB into the water treatment. Still play the baseball diamond as hazard. And then our tee box is just kind of this dirt right here. This kind of sets up for a pretty good little flex of a mildly stable fairway, but I'm testing out this new MD3 with the Colorado disc golf stamp on it. I see brand new C-Line MD3. I'm just kind of push it straight at it, let it kind of do its thing. I think this MD3 should kind of turn right just a bit and then finish up right at the pin. Look at that. Look at how laser beam straight that thing is. Oh, perfect. Parked it. Man. Sometimes, I swear, I get this camera out to film. I throw first shots and just lace stuff. And I do it even without the camera as well. And then you get and start practicing and like I don't know, maybe you're experimenting or you're trying to repeat the exact same shot and you actually kind of throw worse. Sometimes you just step up and throw, let your body knows what to do, and you get the best results. I've been trying to kind of do that in tournaments and just kind of blank out a little bit. As much as I love my Hex, the MD3 is also just such a great mid. So good. The Discmania and MVP mid-range lineups are my two favorite and probably the two best in my opinion. Pretty awesome. I could go with either one really. MVP has a few more of the fillers that I like, but man, these are so good. I did birdie this one easily. I was just on the other side of it. So I did get that one in the tournament. Happy about. However, what I was not happy about is I bogeyed the next hole because it was in the short position. I'm actually going to show you where I thought we were going to play from. I played this years ago in the past, and the tee box for this was up here on this road. And you actually threw from up here to there. I don't know if this is the common spot for it. I felt like there was another guy that was kind of struck that was in the long position, or in the short position. So in here, I don't really even have a driver. So I'm just gonna throw the bear. It's pretty far, actually. I think I lasered it once. It was like 330 or something like that from here. It's a much easier hole from down below, and there's no line, so I'm just gonna throw it kind of right here-ish. That wasn't the greatest throw, but that's kind of up there, and that bear's pretty stable at the end. And yeah, I actually had a practice round up here and threw a couple up there. I was pretty comfortable with that spot. I like it too. And then I've seen it where it's actually further back too, where you kind of got to navigate the fence a little bit. Yeah, in the tournament, because I mean, obviously it was snowing. There was snow on the ground. I don't know if they changed that or if this was always the plan, but they actually played it from this little short pad here. So here's the short pad. It's only like 150, 170 here. And yeah, somehow I bogeyed this with the berg. I kind of slipped a little bit. I was disking up in the cold, and I decided to disc down here and throw the berg at it. And it just slipped out of my hand just a little bit, and it kept on the hyzer, and it just stayed on the hyzer and kind of actually skipped a little left. And then I 3-putted because I tried to run the circle 2 and completely airballed it. But here's what I should have done. And the track is OB. Wow, that didn't come back at all, but there's the berg. I didn't really give it enough air, but that was the mistake I made in the tournament. Was I gave it a little too much air, too much inside, and it just didn't. The berg is interesting because on these short drives like this, it doesn't really flip up. It's not really understable. It just tends to hold the exact angle you put it on, unless you get a lot of snap in it. And then it might kind of flip up and turn very slightly, but mostly just goes straight. And if you give it a little air, it will finish a little bit. Track and Beyond was OB, so I was a little wary of that with the cold, with everything kind of being kind of flippy in the cold. But I had a putt from out in the field and just airballed it, and I didn't have much longer than this comeback, and I missed it. That's how bad my putting was. just one of those things like tournament. I putt fine in practice and relaxed. Tournament time, man, I just couldn't hit that putt to save my life. And we'll put out my other one here for fun. And here's where my drive from the top ended up. Not too bad. This is actually about how far my putt was in the tournament from the berg. It just somehow slid way left. Probably got on some snow. Here we go. This is hole 4. We got another kind of crappy dirt tee pad. But we got a little bit of a gap hit, and there's a little protector log around, just inside circle 1 track, and inside is OB, and there is like a path that's kind of deep of the pin that also can play OB. Normally I'd say just berg. Again, early released this a little bit. I was a little sketched out after that last hole. Unfortunate getting bogey and missed this tee shot too. Just early released it right into these pine trees. Just trying to stay safe of OB. When I want to just kind of lace up a berg there. I think the other play here is to go kind of more overstable. And what I should have done in the tournament is go zone and kind of go around this dead trunk here. But I feel like there's more crap to miss there on the right side. So that's why I was a little wary and just trying to hit the gap. But it is kind of a good line. And like that's pretty good with the skip. But also, you know, the snow was giving... One thing I didn't realize is snow makes ground play really difficult. And you'll see this coming up, how it shapes up here. Yeah, there's definitely a little more danger here. Oh wow, why was that zoomed in? I'm sorry about the zoom. You can see my zone is right there, inside circle. But the berg also here in circle. I guess there isn't an OB road long. It's just the fence. But you'd have to really throw bad to go long on this. Pretty easy birdies out here. So yeah, I was pretty disappointed that I wasn't able to get these in the tournament. All right, next hole, we kind of come around the corner here. And here's our tee pad. Hole is up here. I want to say it's about 270 or so. Kind of got to navigate this tunnel. Obviously, if you go in there, it's OB. There is an OB sidewalk that is about 15 feet deep of the pin. So you can't overdo it. And if you try to kind of hyzer over the top, there is a line there. And it's not a bad line. Honestly, I probably should have considered it because it's fairly safe. But I like taking this kind of straight tunnel shot. There's not that many tunnel shots in Colorado, so kind of take them when you can. Slight hyzer on the MD3 should give us a look. Oh, look at that ground play. It's just perfect. Man, that MB3, so good. Yeah. Whew. This one and another one I messed up. I've hit it almost every time in practice. And then, of course, coming in the tournament, I just pulled it right and hit one of the last 2 poles on the fence and kicked out way left. Didn't have much of a chance at a putt, especially with the OB right behind it. So it was a little frustrating. Like I said, I mean, obviously no pressure, practice. I'm out here by myself chilling and it's nice and warm. This course is way easier. They played a lot more difficult when it was snowy. Like, I got a lot of ground play on that one. That throw, as good as it was in the snow, I mean, I'm probably back with a 50-foot putt instead of a 20-foot putt. Now you can see kind of how close this OB is behind it. And kind of get a back look at it. And then we kind of just come just kind of slightly straight off here. See these big kind of little aspen grove here. And the pin is right back there. Now this aspen grove has kind of a circle of rocks in it that can play OB, and there is like a little bit of rough on the left side that can sometimes play OB. Nice forehand line here. My buddy takes the forehand line and parks it like every time. I just take normally like a zone, and it ends up playing pretty good, or like an MD5. I actually tied the MD5 in the tournament, and it curved a little early. I made it through the aspens though. I had a decent putt, but this is another one that I 3-putted. This was actually the hole I started on, and I just blew it. And the funny thing is, I dissed up, like I said, in practice, and I threw an evader and parked it a couple of times. But then we sat around forever waiting for the start call. I'm going to go MD5 though, and I'm going to try to get some redemption on that shot. Get a slight flex so it actually kind of pulls back a little bit later. Now, there's the flex I want. Now the hard flare. All right. That's pretty good. That's a little deep, but this time I overflexed it a little bit. And with that MD5, I have the Zone OS with me. It might have been better for that line, except the Zone OS I have is soft, so I don't think it would flare. I don't know. I think maybe just a little wider hyzer. High hyzer might be the play. A little deep. Yeah, a little deep. So my putt was right there in the ditch in the turning, but now I'm back here. But this is actually kind of where my comeback was. This is basically how bad my putting was in the tourney. Granted, this was the first putt of the day, of the whole tourney, and I just airballed it, and it slid way back out here. Yeah, and that's where these 3-putts are frustrating, because if I would have just laid up, that would have been 2 strokes saved on the tourney, or I would just hit metal, you know? I just had like semi-efficient. Whoa. There's that weird upward pop again. I don't know what's causing that. Man, I'm just not getting my weight low and pushing forward enough. That's a little frustrating. I mean, 3's better than a 4. 4 was pretty frustrating to open up with. I didn't let it bother me too much though. The amount of times I've opened a tourney with a bogey or worse. Sometimes it takes the pressure off right away, because you're like, well, I guess I can't do worse than that. Here's what would be hole 8. Another dirt tree pad, about 300 foot. And we got an incoming disc. These guys are going super fast. Probably should let them play through here, but yeah, there we got. I don't quite have the disc I threw. I threw my river and just a very slight turnover and parked it. I'm gonna try this kind of the same thing. I actually got this from the players pack, this Leopard 3. Very light, but man, it's pretty sweet. Very, very subtle anhyzer. Just float it around the shape of the bend. Just follow the shape of the bend. Yeah, that has some surprising bite at the end there. But, I mean, that's... Oh, you're fine. mean, that's the shape of the hole, because not the tall weeds, but that's like a little bit of a lake right there, and that was OB. So you definitely couldn't accidentally shank it. Kind of like if you're good at like a low shot, kind of ace runnable because of the background fence can kind of save you. I threw that almost exact shot, but with my river, it actually held that subtle turn the entire way in the cold. It's funny because the Opto river I have is actually pretty stable. This Leopard 3 is surprisingly, I mean, Halo obviously. Oh wow, that actually skipped. I actually skipped a little further away than I thought. All right, not a bad putt though. Yeah, I literally had a drop in. All right, let's see if I can get my weight a little forward, my release a little lower here. There we go. There we go. All right. Man, sometimes I get people behind me and I play faster. And I actually play better. I don't know. It's pretty out here though. Sun's. It's interesting because this this hole, I think, is a new placement. Because in the other tourney I was in, there was actually a tent basket in here, and they had the volleyball net or volleyball sand OB along with all these reeds, so made it a much more challenging thing to get into. But obviously for school time, they try to keep you out here on the perimeter of the grounds. Kind of a cool little course. Like obviously it's a little on the easier end for me, but I mean for elementary school kids and families, this would be a great little spot to kind of come and learn. Hole 9, and we tee off right here, and we got a little bit of a gap hit right off the bat, and then we go up there. It's currently in this kind of right position. It's on this little mound. It's kind of a tough shot. If you have a good forehand, really good forehand hole, there's a long position that kind of curves back left. I do like this tunnel shot though. Pretty cool little shot. Set you up right here. I think it's about 320-ish. I don't quite have that in forehand right now. I normally just backhand up here. I start kind of wide to the left of the tunnel with an anhyzer and let it drift across. There is OB sidewalk. It drops off right behind the pin, and there's OB sidewalk right behind it. So you can't go long. I'm gonna try, see if this Leopard 3 feels a little bit more stable than my river, so I'm gonna have to give it just a touch more anhyzer. Ooh, that's solid. All right, that's a putt. Oh, it slid up on top. As long as I didn't slide off the backside of that hill, that's solid. Man, that little Lep 3 is super solid. But yeah, I think, again, that Lep 3 is a little more stable. I think that had that been my river, even though that Opto Ice river is fairly stable, it's closer to like an FD. Acts like more like a neg 1.2 or a 0.1, but it still does hold a slight anhyzer a little longer. All right, yeah, so we're crawling up on the hill here. I didn't slide over, I actually slid up the hill, which is perfect. And there is a long position that's up here. Kind of plays as a par 4. You kind of got to turn this corner and then throw again. Man, this little Lep 3, it's only 159 too. At 159, I did not expect it to be as stable as it is, but it is. Oh. Well, we kind of shredded that. Not gonna lie. Well, there's hole 9, and as you can see, like, this hill kind of drops off, especially when it's dead and dry like this. Man, it's so easy to slide OB. It also makes it kind of hard to run the putt if you're too short. So that, me getting up beside it, level with it, is insanely good. Wow, I just played that fantastic. Whew. Now you know why I was so disappointed with my play in the tournament, because this is a very gettable course, and it was basically this configuration. So I've seen some much more challenging configurations. You can do some interesting like off tee pads and move the holes into a couple temporary spots, and there's some tunnel shots they can do with the practice basket that they had in years past, and using like the track and sidewalks for different OB areas. Obviously, but if you just want to come out and play a nice practice round, it's a great little spot to do it. Yeah, man, wow, 7 of 9, and it could have been 8 or 9 if I would have just thrown the envy on the one hole, and had a putt for the 9 of 9 on there. Just skipping the MD5 a little long, but yeah, that's happy with that. I'm not happy with my tournament play, but you know, that's how it goes. All right, there you have it. So that concludes the Longmont 27 and Wildcat Ridge out here. Again, kind of an easy beginner level course, but still kind of fun. It's got some fun lines. Great afternoon, little quick 9, or you can run it a couple times for your 18. Shout out to the Longs Peak Disc Golf Club. They do a great job with the courses out here and with events. And shout out to Westview High School or elementary school, middle school? Not sure, but shout out to Westview for putting it in and maintaining it. And they got great baskets and everything. So nice little spot. Well, there goes all the holes currently in Longmont proper. There's a few other ones kind of on the outskirts that like Mead, and there are a few other places that aren't quite in Longmont. We'll get to those one of these days and have a quick video, but yeah, there you go. Didn't quite conquer them in the tournament, but man, one of these days I'll match up to my practice rounds and my video rounds here. But good to see you. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.